In 2024, Hollywood and other film industries still churn out war films regularly, like the movies that came before them. The recent releases are mostly structured around heroes, since such a dynamic tends to be a major draw. Korean War veteran Howard William Osterkamp once said, "All gave, some gave all," and his remarks are remembered to date because they give an accurate battlefield picture. Events start with an army, a unit, or a group of civilians fighting for their lives. Later, one person, or a small team, stands out because of their gallantry and better decision-making. A few other movies focus on villains, but they always remind audiences that the oppressed parties are the true heroes. They also cover the themes of perseverance, patriotism, friendship, sacrifice, family, and the effects of conflict on society. Most importantly, they make the viewer feel the horrors of war. So, which latest military-themed movies cover all these aspects better? Escape from Germany. Events in Escape from Germany begin in late August 1939. In mainland Germany, missionaries are having a great time selling Jesus to the masses. Everyone is repenting and chanting, Hosanna, but the fun doesn't last long. Soon, prophetic preacher Heber J. Grant spoils the party by advising all of God's 20th century disciples to pack up and leave because Hitler is about to attack Poland and start a war. Some remain skeptical, only for the preacher to be proven right in under 2 weeks. There is something enchanting about war movies featuring characters trying to escape the chaos rather than extinguish it. Here, filmmaker T.C. Christensen grants adequate screen time to numerous characters. Still, audiences will particularly be impressed with Elder Siebold, who has been tasked with tracking down preachers who wandered off to remote villages, eager to place the Bible in the hands of every citizen. Warblade. Third Reich generals loved bunkers, and in Warblade, RAF Captain Robert Banks, Joseph Milson, is tasked with parachuting into Nazi-infested southeast France to rescue a French resistance leader being held in such an underground establishment. The mission is presumed easy because the resistance leader's wife has provided all the intel, but Banks faces numerous challenges that were never included in the operational manual. With Warblade, director Nicholas Winter proves that you don't need Spielberg or Nolan's financial war chest to make a great World War II movie. The cinematography is stupendous, while the cast members seem to have all been picked from the underrated but very talented pool. The story is nothing new, but the characters are unique and intriguing. There is a German nurse who loves handling guns more than syringes, and a deaf sidekick who is good at sniffing out explosives. Thanks to the latter's efforts, Captain Robert Banks avoids getting blown up before he completes the mission. Land of Bad. Land of Bad isn't as B-movie-ish as its title might suggest. Headlined by Russell Crowe and two Hemsworths, Liam and Luke, the film packs in plenty of fast-paced action as it tells the story of a Delta Force team ambushed in an unnamed Asian country while attempting to rescue a CIA agent. As they fight for survival, the drone pilot, Captain Eddie Reaper Grimm, works around the clock to help them get out. This is the kind of movie where the CIA are referred to as Alphabet Soup Mother. A character jokes about his wife's dietary practices, saying, "How do you know someone's a vegan?" They will tell you. The action is fun both on the battlefield and out of it, as everyone remains eager to take down the enemy. SGT. Kinney, Liam Hemsworth, demonstrates unwavering resilience as he tries to dodge enemy forces in the jungle while Reaper, Crowe, stays focused even when fellow officers at the drone command center wallow in leisure. In one iconic scene, Crowe's character dumps vegetables at the grocery store checkout and races back to the base after learning that Kinney is in trouble, yet none of his colleagues are answering the phone. By the time it's all over, everyone watching the movie will feel the need to take their job more seriously. One Life. Released earlier in the year, One Life, starring Anthony Hopkins, qualifies as one of the essential movies about the Holocaust. In it, London stockbroker Nicholas Winton heads Czechoslovakia for a business assignment. Upon seeing the poor living conditions of Jews who have fled from Germany and Austria, he takes a break from his blue chip and amortization routines, and offers to transport the refugee children into England. As a war film, One Life is more about overcoming bureaucracy than battlefield obstacles. Winton plans to transport the children illegally and match them with fitting foster parents, but as a government official tells him, that takes time. He shoots back with, "We don't have time," a sensible response, because the Germans are closing in. His facial expressions thus alternate between hope and despair throughout the movie. By the time the conclusion arrives, he manages to transport 669 children in 10 trains. The 9th train is stopped by the Nazis, and for the rest of his life, He remains regretful over those he failed to save rather than thankful for those he saved. The Zone of Interest. The Zone of Interest paints a scary picture of the seemingly perfect life of Nazi higher-ups during WWII. The film introduces audiences to Rudolf HSS, Christian Friedel, a commandant of the Auschwitz concentration camp, who is living in a paradise-like home with his family just next to the camp. His home is surrounded by a river, a neat yard, and lush mountains. The inside of the camp is never shown. Occasionally, screams are heard. The smoke from burning bodies is seen too. Yet HSS children live life normally, oblivious to the horrors next door. A nibbling sense of terror diffuses through the entire film, because of the sounds from the camp. The background cries, gunfire, and train sounds are heard after every few scenes. Yet the HSS family goes about daily life, organizing picnics and parties. Rudolf's wife considers the murder of Jews as a normal and necessary occurrence. "I could have my husband spread your ashes across the fields of Babis," she says to the nanny once after noticing signs of disgruntlement. Civil War. Civil War presents a dystopian future, where the USA is literally the DSA, Divided States of America. A malevolent dictator in his third term, as president, is now ruling the land, but his divisive policies have triggered secessionist movements. As the chaos unfolds, a group of journalists travels from New York to Washington by road, hoping to interview POTUS before the rebels reach the Capitol and kick him out of power. Audiences hoping to see something similar to many of the popular American Civil War movies will be disappointed, because Civil War is more about the politics and media coverage of war than the soldiers. Still, there are plenty of flying bullets and explosions. Overall, the film is more of a cautionary tale, giving a warning of what might happen if Americans ever stop valuing their democracy. Is the movie a form of commentary on modern American politics? It's debatable, but there are hints. For example, the president, while inside a barricaded White House, vows to defeat the revolutionaries, claiming it will be the greatest victory in the history of mankind. It sure sounds like something Trump would say. White Bird. In White Bird, Sarah, an elderly woman, tells her grandchild a harrowing tale about her days as a young Jewish girl in Nazi-occupied France. During WWI, a young Sarah escapes being captured by Nazis after her classmate Julian hides her in the barn of their home. In the evenings, Julian teaches Sarah everything he has been taught in school, and it doesn't take long for a romance to brew between them. Like the teen novel it's based on, White Bird never complicates itself. It sticks to the basics of romance and war, hence qualifying as one of the essential romance World War II movies. It never digs too deep into Nazi operational structures, an approach that makes the movie enjoyable for general audiences. Additionally, it is an ideal movie for any parent hoping to instill discipline in their children, as it emphasizes the importance of kindness, compassion, and togetherness. Kingdom 4. Return of the Great General. Kingdom 4 continues the story of the fight for the control of ancient China during the Warring States period, 476 to 121 BCE. The thunderous latest installment of the manga-to-live action series combines swashbuckling and Machiavellian strategizing as it follows the warrior Kento Yamazaki's exploits. His fight against the feared Cho forces proves harder than he expected, but he keeps pushing, eager to leave a lasting legacy. Action fans are guaranteed to enjoy Kingdom 4 as the movie never slows down. The kill count keeps increasing by the minute, yet the fighting never stops. Events spill from mountains to forest and deserts, creating room for the production team to flex their cinematography and expert VFX skills. One particular lengthy clash between the protagonist and the God of War is breathtaking. The only sad thing about the movie is that it stops at the 145-minute mark, leaving fans desperate for more. The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. There are numerous ways to kill a snake, and one of those involves denying it food. Such are the tactics employed in Guy Ritchie's The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. The WWII film is a fictionalized account of Operation Postmaster, a British plan to board the Italian and German U-boats and steer them to Lagos, leaving the Axis forces under-equipped. With Henry Cavill and Reacher's Alan Ritchson in the cast, nothing goes wrong in the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Both men look like convincing *** kickers, and they do just that with the help of several other baddies. While at it, they drop some marvelous one-liners. It's one thing taking over the world, but do they have to take over the kitchen too? It's all sausage, cabbage and black bread. One character says about the Nazis, "I'm not leaving until I have a barrel full of Nazi hearts, Another blurts out. The Last Front. The Last Front captures a Belgian villager's transition from farmer to fighter during World War I. As the German forces are closing in, Leonard, Ian Glenn, vows to protect his friends, family, and neighbors to safety. As the locals navigate the rural territory, Lieutenant Lawrence remains on their trail, eager to make them his first victims. Speaking to For0 about the movie, director Hayat Kirknai said he wanted to avoid all World War I movie tropes. No trenches, no left side Allies, right side Germans. I want to show the people how the people themselves handled the First World War, how they had to fight and struggle, he said. Well, he achieved his dream. The Last Front showcases the inner mental battles of ordinary citizens. They do not wish to fight, but are forced to do so to preserve their peace. It's a Sisyphean task, but they try anyway, resulting in a wonderful tale of sturdiness, courage, and hope.